Let me stop. Hey, you guys, it is Smooth Nations. I am right now on cover with Black Cover Interviews. I go by the name Miss Smooth Nations. I am the founder and CEO of Black Cover. My company offers inspiration and design. Black Cover was gifted and created strictly by God. It was a masterpiece for my works. Now, Black Cover Interviews comes under that inspirational part, along with Miss Moon Nations and the inspirational pressure speaking. Black Cover was inspired by, well, the Black Cover interviews, excuse me, it was inspired by me as a child being drawn to people's life stories, their struggles, the rises, their experiences, their truths. A lot of people like to call them testimonies, but mine was in the mobsters. John Gotti and Blanco was two of them. Yes. um, yes, people know they lived dangerous lives, and yes, they did some unforgettable things, but they had a heart and they had a story. And that's basically what my twist is. I am going to be interviewing ordinary people that people might, the first thing they want to put a judgment hit on them. You can't do that. Some of the most rugged, dangerous people are some of the most soft-heartedest, are some of the most messiest, rude girls are actually some of the most soft-hearted. So, I had the honor actually of being on my first cover. And it's kind of cool because I, 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 I'm different and I like to do everything uniquely different. I wanted to do my interviews not just a video that you can watch, but it puts you in like the remembrance of a magazine. You have the number one picture cover, and then you have a couple more other pictures before you just get to the article, as they would say in the magazine. But you'll pass pictures and then you'll get to the actual video, of the interview. So I told you it's a 21 course run, so I'm running it. No limit. You'll be able to find all of the Black cover interviews only on my YouTube channel. I will have little snippets of the interviews, and I'll share those on the Facebook page or my Insta. Okay. Now, my interview is basically covering my first year being Miss Moon Nations. And I will tell you like this, it was very challenging, but it was very knowledgeable and learnable. It was an experience. You know, no matter what you do in life, what you go off into, it's either going to have its challenges, it's going to have its experiences. And this is exactly what my first year was. Um, I would say my biggest challenge during my first year would be the day the events happened with Mr. George. Rest in peace to Mr. George. And God covered this trial and the things that's going on around it. And it is in God's hands. Justice for the family, and God will prevail. That's all I can say about that. But the day the event started, you had people start doing the I want to say the marches, because it really reminded me of Martin Luther King, and when they was doing all that. But people were out and people were doing their supporting. You had the Black Lives Matter. Oh man, you had people from all around the world gathered and they did their thing. But what I noticed was, from the day I stepped out with my channel, the views were like, and When that happened with Mr. George, it was like my views went from 100% to about 50%. And I remember sitting in the sessions because I always do homework. After I drop a video, I always go back into the sessions, and shout out to Black Amount Sessions. Black Amount Sessions is um it actually got created the day I actually started my channel. And I always refer to, how a rapper goes into the studio and, they get themselves together and, they in it, they in it, they in it. Well, that's something how the sessions is for me. I go in there and I got the pen, I got the paper, and I got whatever I need, and I'm in that baby. I got the music going on the playlist. And then I go into recording, which is in front of the camera. So, but I was in Black 'em Out sessions that day, and I was just going over the views because I had a couple videos that I did, including one for Mr. George. And I noticed, and I was like, all right, this gonna happen. Just stay calm, And then the further along we got down the road, months later, I really noticed, and I was like, you know what? This is your first year. Not only that, everything is not going to be gravy. Everything is not going to be coastal. You're not going to be able to have a host of people every day. It's just like someone that goes into their own clothing line. I'm really forgetting names tonight, excuse me. Their own deal, and they want to do clothing. You might have customers all that week. You might have customers for 3 months straight, and then it just might go off the rise, and you off the grid. No, where the people at? You think you're off the grid, but that's how it works. It's life. You're going to have to enjoy the high times, the low times, the we just coasting times, because number one, as a leader, you have to stay focused. You have to stay motivated, because if you have a team behind you, those people need to feel that energy, and that really keeps the whole team going. So I would really say, out of all, that was kind of like my biggest challenge. My biggest challenge didn't come with wondering if people would accept what I'm doing and wondering if people will accept me. That wasn't a thought, because for one, I knew, I might be something different with my talk and just the way I carry myself, and I can change the hair up quick, but I'm me, and what I have to offer is genuine. So you have more than one person in this world. There are billions of people in this world. So where one person might not coast with you, you got about 20 more that will. So you never have to worry about, well, will someone like me? If someone will accept me, please. If your family don't, you have a family outside of them that will. I'm just being honest. But my first year, I would say, was just it was a learning process. I learned myself in a lot of ways. I grew in a lot of ways. I've never felt more empowered than I had this year in revealing myself as Miss Moon Nation. I want anyone to know what God has for you, it is for you. When I was little, I had this vision. I wanted this. I actually wanted to be a teacher, not knowing God would just bring it in a different way. And I love designing, whether it's interior, exterior. I'm a beast in designing. And so in 2006 is when I was really like, listening to Wendy Williams. She's messy as heck. But like I tell people, sometimes you just have to listen to the message of what someone is saying and not how it's coming out. That's just like with the music, okay? just how she was comfortable, just how you could tell she was running that radio show. This when she had the radio show, 2006 now, back then. I just asked God if you could ever make a way possible. Have me come. I want to be an inspiration. You know, I want to do this, that. But 2020 was that coast move. And, you know, now that we've made that first year and it's stable, 2021 is that coast run. I said all that to say this. Your time is not someone else's time. Your riches is not someone else's riches. Take time in everything that you do. I don't care if you feel like, and that was just with the name of my company. To be honest with you, I really just revealed the name of my company today. That was something that I would not put forth until I felt like that was the name that described everything in one. And look at God. You know? So don't worry about who got this, who don't got it, where you at, where you're not. Have patience, God goes. And God will take you there. Okay? Okay. I'm just so happy to introduce to you Miss Move Nations. I am so happy to be in my second year. I'm so happy to introduce and to bring everything that God has for me to bring to you. Once again, I am Miss Move Nations. You caught me on cover of Black Cover Interviews. Good night.